Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I want to share with you a simple, science-based strategy that can dramatically enhance two of the most powerful biological processes, sleep and muscle growth. What you eat before bed within that final 60 to 90 minutes of your day can determine whether your body repairs itself efficiently, whether your brain and muscles recover, and whether you actually build muscle tissue or break it down overnight. This isn't a fitness myth or a trendy hack. This is grounded in neuroscience and physiology. Let's start with this. Sleep and muscle growth are deeply interconnected, driven by intricate biological processes that operate beneath our conscious awareness. When we think of building muscle, we often focus on the training itself, resistance workouts, progressive overload, mechanical tension. While training is the necessary stimulus, it is during sleep, particularly deep sleep, that the real growth and repair occur. This is not a vague wellness claim. This is a well-documented biological reality grounded in endocrinology and neuroscience. During the night, especially in the first half of sleep, the brain enters a phase known as slow-wave sleep, also referred to as stage 3 non-REM sleep. This stage is characterized by low-frequency, high-amplitude brain waves that reflect a state of profound neural rest. It is in this phase that the pituitary gland secretes the largest pulses of growth hormone, an essential anabolic hormone that drives tissue repair, fat metabolism, and muscle regeneration. Growth hormone, along with insulin like growth factor 1, ICF1, activates satellite cells, precursors to muscle cells that are responsible for repairing microtears in muscle fibers caused by intense training. Without adequate slow-wave sleep, the magnitude of this hormonal surge is significantly blunted, reducing the body's capacity to rebuild stronger muscle tissue. Moreover, sleep regulates the balance between anabolic muscle building and catabolic muscle breaking processes. One night of poor sleep can elevate cortisol, a stress hormone that has catabolic effects on muscle tissue. Chronically elevated cortisol not only impairs muscle protein synthesis, but also interferes with testosterone production, another critical hormone involved in muscle maintenance and development. So while you may feel like you're making progress in the gym, if sleep is compromised, the biochemical environment in your body is biased toward muscle breakdown rather than growth. Sleep also supports muscle growth indirectly by maintaining metabolic health, insulin sensitivity, and neurochemical balance. For instance, poor sleep impairs glucose metabolism and increases insulin resistance, which can negatively affect nutrient partitioning, the way your body decides whether to store nutrients as fat or use them to support muscle repair. In addition, neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which influence mood, motivation, and motor learning, are also regulated by sleep quality. This means that consistent, restorative sleep doesn't just help you recover from a physical standpoint, it enhances your ability to train effectively, remain consistent, and stay psychologically engaged with your fitness goals. Another key aspect often overlooked is muscle memory and motor learning. Deep sleep facilitates the consolidation of motor patterns and neuromuscular adaptations formed during training. In essence, when you sleep well, your brain replays and ingrains the movement patterns you've practiced, refining your technique and making your future workouts more effective. This has implications not only for athletes, but for anyone aiming to improve coordination, strength, or performance. In summary, sleep is not just a passive state, it is a biologically active process that orchestrates the release of anabolic hormones, repairs tissue damage, balances catabolic stressors, and supports the neurological underpinnings of skill development. If your goal is to maximize muscle growth, you cannot afford to treat sleep as optional. It is a cornerstone of recovery, adaptation, and long-term progress. Nutrient timing plays a critical role in optimizing hormonal release, especially when the goal is to enhance muscle growth and recovery. The idea is not simply about what you eat, but when you eat it, because the timing of nutrient intake can influence the body's endocrine rhythms, which in turn affect anabolic and catabolic processes. This concept is supported by emerging research in both nutrition science and chronobiology, which together reveal that aligning nutrient intake with your body's natural hormonal cycles can enhance results from training and improve overall physiological function. When you consume nutrients, particularly proteins and carbohydrates, specific hormones are triggered in response. Insulin is one of the primary hormones influenced by food intake. It's not just a blood sugar regulator. Insulin is also an anabolic hormone that promotes amino acid uptake into muscle tissue and suppresses protein breakdown. Consuming a mixed meal of protein and carbohydrates before bed, for instance, causes a modest insulin response, which can help shuttle key amino acids like leucine, isoleucine, and valine into muscle cells, thereby supporting overnight muscle protein synthesis. More importantly, the timing of this intake influences other hormonal cascades, such as the release of growth hormone, which peaks during slow-wave sleep. When nutrient intake is strategically placed in the late evening, about 60 to 90 minutes before sleep, it complements this natural hormonal pulse. essentially providing the raw materials the body needs at the precise moment it is most hormonally primed to rebuild. Growth hormone secretion is highly sensitive to insulin blood glucose dynamics. While large spikes in insulin can actually suppress growth hormone, a moderate and stable insulin profile achievable through slow-digesting proteins like casein and low-glycemic carbohydrates supports a more favorable hormonal environment. These nutrients are digested and absorbed slowly, preventing blood sugar crashes and maintaining a stable internal milieu that favors recovery. Cortisol, another key hormone in the equation, follows a circadian rhythm and is ideally lowest in the evening. However, if you skip your evening meal or consume stimulants too late in the day, cortisol may remain elevated into the night, impairing both sleep quality and muscle recovery. Strategic nutrient timing, such as consuming magnesium and tryptophan-rich foods before bed, can counteract this by promoting parasympathetic nervous system activation and reducing cortisol levels. Tryptophan also serves as a precursor to melatonin, a hormone essential for initiating sleep and regulating circadian rhythm, further reinforcing the connection between nutrient timing and hormonal balance. Furthermore, nighttime consumption of specific nutrients can influence the secretion of insulin-like growth. Factor 1, ICF1, a potent anabolic hormone stimulated by both growth hormone and dietary protein. When properly timed, nutrient intake can potentiate this cascade, especially when paired with resistance training earlier in the day. The result is an extended anabolic window that carries into the night, leveraging your body's natural hormonal cycles for maximum benefit. In essence, nutrient timing is about more than calories or macros. It's about creating a hormonal landscape that is optimized for recovery, growth, and performance. By aligning your nutrient intake with your body's biological rhythms, particularly in the evening, you can unlock deeper restorative processes and more effectively convert training stress into long-term muscular gains. Tryptophan and magnesium-rich foods have a profound impact on both the onset and depth of sleep, functioning through biochemical pathways that support the body's transition into rest and its maintenance of deep, restorative sleep. Understanding how these nutrients influence the brain and body provides a practical, science-backed approach to improving sleep quality, which is essential not only for cognitive and emotional health, but also for physical recovery and muscle growth. Tryptophan is an essential amino acid that serves as a precursor to serotonin, a neurotransmitter involved in mood regulation, relaxation, and the sleep-wake cycle. Serotonin itself is a precursor to melatonin, the hormone primarily responsible for inducing sleep. Because the body cannot synthesize tryptophan on its own, it must be obtained through dietary sources. When consumed in the evening, tryptophan increases the availability of serotonin in the brain, especially when accompanied by a small amount of carbohydrate, which helps transport tryptophan across the blood-brain barrier by reducing competition from other amino acids. This enhanced serotonin production leads to a corresponding rise in melatonin synthesis as night falls, making it easier to fall asleep and transition into the initial stages of the sleep cycle. Magnesium, on the other hand, plays a different but complementary role. It is a vital mineral that supports over 300 enzymatic processes in the body, including those related to muscle relaxation and nervous system regulation. One of magnesium's most important actions in the context of sleep is its ability to modulate GABA receptors in the brain. GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, is the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter responsible for calming neural activity and promoting a state of physical and mental relaxation. By enhancing GABA signaling, magnesium reduces the time it takes to fall asleep, sleep latency, and helps maintain uninterrupted sleep through the night. This is particularly important for achieving the deep, slow-wave sleep stages where the brain and body undergo the most repair and recovery. Together, tryptophan and magnesium create a synergistic effect on sleep architecture. Tryptophan promotes the neurochemical sequence that leads to sleep initiation, while magnesium supports the neural environment that maintains sleep depth and continuity. Research has shown that individuals with low dietary magnesium intake are more likely to suffer from sleep disturbances, including difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep. Similarly, diets low in tryptophan-rich proteins are associated with reduced REM sleep and lower overall sleep efficiency. Practical dietary sources of these nutrients include foods like turkey, chicken, eggs, oats, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and leafy greens. A small evening meal combining tryptophan-rich protein with a magnesium source such as a hard-boiled egg with spinach or Greek yogurt with pumpkin seeds can promote both sleep onset and deeper, more restorative rest. Some people also benefit from magnesium supplements or sleep-focused formulas that combine magnesium with glycine or theanine, both of which also support relaxation. Ultimately, incorporating tryptophan and magnesium into your evening nutrition strategy is a simple yet powerful way to align your diet with your body's neurobiology. By doing so, you create optimal conditions for falling asleep faster and experiencing deeper, more regenerative sleep, which benefits not only mental clarity and mood, but also physical recovery and long-term health. Casein protein has emerged as one of the most effective pre-sleep nutritional tools for enhancing muscle protein synthesis, especially during overnight recovery periods when the body is naturally fasted. Unlike other protein sources that digest quickly and deliver a short-lived spike in amino acids, casein is a slow-digesting protein that provides a sustained release of essential amino acids over several hours. This unique characteristic makes it particularly valuable when consumed before bed, a time when the body is entering a prolonged period of no food intake and increased anabolic activity. Muscle protein synthesis, the process through which muscle fibers are repaired and built following exercise-induced damage, is not a one-time event, but a continuous cycle influenced by both training stimulus and nutrient availability. After resistance training, the body is primed for repair and protein intake is critical. While immediate post-workout protein consumption helps jumpstart this process, the hours that follow, especially during sleep, are equally important. Sleep is when growth hormone levels peak and tissue repair mechanisms are most active. However, if there is a lack of circulating amino acids during this window, the body may enter a catabolic state, breaking down muscle tissue to meet its needs. This is where casein protein becomes a critical intervention. When consumed roughly 30 to 60 minutes before bed, casein coagulates in the stomach, forming a gel-like substance that is digested and absorbed slowly. This leads to a gradual and steady release of amino acids into the bloodstream for up to 7 or 8 hours, essentially covering the entire duration of a typical night's sleep. As a result, casein provides the muscle with the raw materials it needs for repair and growth during a period that is otherwise characterized by nutrient deprivation. Multiple studies have demonstrated that pre-sleep casein consumption increases overnight muscle protein synthesis rates without interfering with sleep quality. In fact, one landmark study found that resistance-trained individuals who consumed 40 grams of casein protein before sleep had significantly higher rates of overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to those who didn't. The benefits of this strategy are not limited to elite athletes. Anyone engaging in consistent strength training can leverage casein to support recovery, improve lean muscle mass retention, and reduce the risk of nighttime muscle breakdown. Beyond its anabolic benefits, casein is also rich in bioactive peptides that may support immune function and digestive health, adding an extra layer of utility. It is available in various forms, from micellar casein powders to whole food sources like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and milk. These foods not only provide high-quality casein protein, but also often include other beneficial nutrients such as calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D, which support bone health and metabolic function. Incorporating casein protein as a consistent part of your nighttime nutrition strategy represents a simple yet powerful way to support the body's natural muscle-building processes. By aligning nutrient delivery with the timing of hormonal and recovery peaks during sleep, casein becomes more than just a supplement. It becomes a tool to enhance long-term muscle growth, optimize recovery, and improve overall training outcomes. Glycine and collagen peptides have garnered increasing attention for their ability to support sleep quality, particularly through their effects on thermoregulation, parasympathetic nervous system activation, and tissue repair. Among the amino acids found in collagen, glycine is especially notable due to its multifunctional roles in the body. When consumed before bed, both glycine and collagen peptides have been shown to improve sleep onset, depth, and efficiency by influencing physiological systems that are directly involved in the sleep-wake cycle. Glycine is a non-essential amino acid, meaning the body can produce it, but additional intake through diet or supplementation has measurable benefits. One of glycine's key actions in the context of sleep is its ability to lower core body temperature. This effect is not superficial. It directly impacts the initiation and maintenance of sleep. The body follows a natural circadian rhythm that includes a decline in core body temperature in the evening, which helps signal to the brain that it's time for rest. Glycine facilitates this process by promoting peripheral vasodilation, or the widening of blood vessels in the skin, which allows heat to be transferred from the body's core to its surface and dissipated into the environment. This thermoregulatory shift enhances sleep onset and allows for a smoother transition into deeper stages of sleep. In addition to its role in thermoregulation, glycine also acts on the central nervous system as a neurotransmitter. It serves as both an inhibitory and excitatory neurotransmitter, but in the context of sleep, its inhibitory effects are most relevant. Glycine promotes the release of calming neurotransmitters like GABA and can help reduce symptoms of hyperarousal, a state of heightened alertness that often interferes with sleep quality. Several clinical studies have shown that consuming 3 grams of glycine before bed improves sleep latency, the time it takes to fall asleep, enhances subjective sleep quality, and reduces daytime fatigue. Importantly, these benefits occur without altering sleep architecture in a negative way, meaning that glycine supports natural sleep patterns rather than disrupting them. Collagen peptides, which are hydrolyzed forms of collagen protein, are rich in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. While collagen supplements are often marketed for skin, hair, and joint health, their benefits extend to sleep and recovery as well. When consumed before bed, collagen peptides not only supply glycine but also provide a matrix of amino acids that support connective tissue repair, making them especially valuable for individuals who engage in regular physical activity. Improved sleep quality from collagen intake enhances recovery further, creating a synergistic effect between muscular and nervous system repair. Collagen peptides are typically well tolerated, easy to digest, and can be added to a variety of evening beverages such as herbal teas or warm water. Many users report not only improved sleep but also reduced joint discomfort and better skin hydration over time, demonstrating the compound's broad impact on health. Ultimately, glycine and collagen peptides represent a powerful duo for those seeking to enhance their sleep naturally. By lowering core body temperature, calming the nervous system, and supporting structural recovery, they create an internal environment that is biologically conducive to deep, restorative sleep. This not only supports cognitive and emotional health, but also enhances physical recovery, muscle growth, and overall resilience. Avoiding late-night carbohydrate spikes and alcohol consumption is essential for preserving sleep architecture, the structured progression through various sleep stages that determines the quality and restorative power of sleep. While both carbohydrates and alcohol can influence sleep in complex ways, their effects on insulin, blood glucose, neurotransmitters, and hormone secretion can ultimately disrupt the delicate balance of sleep phases, especially slow-wave sleep and REM sleep when consumed close to bedtime. High glycemic carbohydrates eaten late at night can cause a rapid increase in blood glucose levels, prompting a surge in insulin to bring those levels back down. This spike and crash pattern can interfere with the body's natural circadian rhythms and lead to wakefulness during the night. Following the insulin peak, blood sugar may dip too low, a state known as reactive hypoglycemia. When this happens, the brain senses a threat to energy supply and activates a counter-regulatory response, increasing cortisol and adrenaline levels to stabilize glucose. This process can cause restlessness, light sleep, or even full awakenings, especially in the second half of the night when REM sleep, crucial for cognitive recovery and emotional processing, is most dominant. Moreover, rapid changes in glucose and insulin can interfere with the secretion of growth hormone, which is naturally released in pulses during the first few hours of sleep. Growth hormone plays a central role in muscle repair, fat metabolism, and cellular regeneration. When late-night eating disrupts the secretion, it compromises the anabolic benefits of sleep. In contrast, consuming lower glycemic carbohydrates earlier in the evening or pairing carbohydrates with protein and fat can provide a gentler blood sugar response, preserving hormonal balance and supporting sleep depth. Alcohol introduces a different but equally disruptive set of physiological effects. While it may initially seem to help with falling asleep due to its sedative properties, alcohol fundamentally impairs sleep quality. It acts on the central nervous system by enhancing the activity of GABA receptors, creating a calming effect in the short term. However, as alcohol is metabolized, it shifts the balance toward increased glutamate activity, a stimulating neurotransmitter. This rebound effect can lead to lighter sleep, increased nighttime awakenings, and a significant reduction in REM sleep duration. REM sleep is essential for memory consolidational regulation and overall cognitive performance, and its suppression by alcohol can leave individuals feeling mentally foggy and emotionally reactive the next day. Additionally, alcohol increases core body temperature and impairs thermoregulation, both of which hinder the body's natural ability to transition into deep sleep. It also acts as a diuretic, increasing the likelihood of waking up to use the bathroom, further fragmenting sleep. Even moderate amounts of alcohol, 1 or 2 drinks, have been shown to disrupt sleep structure, especially when consumed within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime. Protecting sleep architecture requires a deliberate approach to evening behavior. By avoiding large amounts of refined carbohydrates and alcohol late at night, individuals can support stable blood glucose levels, consistent hormone cycles, and optimal transitions between sleep stages. These small but critical choices help preserve the integrity of deep and REM sleep, enabling the full spectrum of physical, cognitive, and emotional recovery that quality sleep provides. In conclusion, optimizing sleep and muscle growth is not a matter of guesswork or vague wellness advice. It is a science-backed strategy rooted in our biology. Each choice we make in the evening, from the nutrients we consume to the substances we avoid, plays a critical role in shaping the quality of our sleep and the effectiveness of our recovery. Sleep and muscle growth are biologically interlinked, governed by hormonal effectiveness of our recovery. Sleep and muscle growth are biologically interlinked, governed by hormonal rhythms that can be either supported or disrupted by our habits. Nutrient timing, especially consuming slow-digesting proteins like casein and incorporating tryptophan and magnesium-rich foods, helps align our internal environment with the body's peak anabolic window. Complementing this with glycine and collagen peptides further enhances sleep onset and depth by promoting thermoregulation and calming neural activity. At the same time, avoiding late-night blood sugar spikes and alcohol protects the delicate architecture of our sleep, ensuring uninterrupted progression through vital stages of deep and REM sleep. These strategies, when practiced consistently, don't just improve how we feel the next day, they compound over time to significantly enhance physical performance, recovery, and long-term health. Sleep is not a passive state. It is an active, nightly opportunity to supercharge the body's ability to grow, repair, and adapt. Use it wisely, fuel it strategically, and let biology work in your favor.